little bit later now. It feels more comfortable this way. I feel like I'm meant to be here at night, even though realistically could be any time of day. Still me, still okay to be here, right? This already feels so much smoother than earlier. It's funny. I've always liked doing tarot at night though. Um, so I have beef. This is beef ramen or beef Wellington when he's being really bad, or just ramen when he's being cute. Ramen Wellington when he's being fine, but like also just being a rich douchebag. You know what I mean? Yeah. See, don't start welling out on me, beef. So, anyways, I talked about these two cards earlier, but they basically just, after doing some readings last week, they did not make it back in the bag when I was done with the decks, and I found them. Okay, seriously, he's been cuddled up, sleeping on my lap this whole time, and as soon as I start streaming, he wants to act like this. This is why your name is Beef, bro. This is why you're Beef. He's so cute, but he has his claws in me. Baby, you just gotta go then. Ow. Hey, not my cat, not my problem. That's what I say. Okay, see you. Anyways, I already talked about these two cards in my last stream, which a little chaotic, a little all over the place. I used my Cosmic Initiation deck yet again. It's like, even if people, it's like the weird times that I'm doing it, or people don't even know what deck I'm using, I just feel like this crowd does not resonate with that deck for some reason. I don't know what that deck is for, other than me. I enjoy using it, but I just think it's a little bit of a darker crowd around here. And that's fine, because that's the kind of readings I do. But I was going to go put these away, and I thought, I might as well do readings. You know what I mean? I might as well just, if I got to pull the decks out to put them back, because if, I'm putting a card back in the deck, I pull it out, shuffle it, put it back. I shuffle my cards a lot. Yeah, that's just really funny, isn't it? So I'm going to use the mystery deck and the pink deck tonight, which the mystery deck is not in any way love or romance oriented. It is the guides, gods, goddesses, and galactics deck. So it's channeled messages from anywhere and anyone's spirit beyond. Extraterrestrial, doesn't matter. Anybody but dead people, because obviously that's what the Halloween Oracle is for. But the pink deck is exclusively romance, love, relationships of that nature. So sometimes with the mystery deck, we get these like divine union readings, twin flame readings, the feminine mask relationship. And the pink deck is always those romantic connections, right? So the fact that it's one of each of these, I did use other decks last week. I used my Thoth deck, I used my Halloween deck, I used the Cosmic Initiation deck, I used my Demon deck. That's basically all of them, damn. Only these two fell out. So yeah, I had all my decks out except the Sexual Magic. And these are the only two that came out. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do these readings. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the mystery deck is going to be very romance-based oriented because it's being paired with the pink deck. So I don't even really know. I guess the full moon was the other day, and there's some other like stuff going on this week. I saw like a meme. I don't know. I'm not an astrologer. I don't pretend to be or want to be. So I don't know what's going on like cosmically necessarily. I don't know if romance is being affected. I don't know if like in February, Venus went into retrograde. I don't know if something like that's going on that is affecting the love life. But there is strong pull to do some love-oriented readings. I think the mystery deck is always more fun for me, and it's a lot more inclusive and all-telling. So I kind of want to save that for last and get the very cliche upfront surface level love readings out of the way first. So we're gonna go pink deck and then mystery deck, and go from there. So just got a couple hours to do this. So I'll be here doing it. And then when I'm done, if I still have time and there are any requests for any other decks, of course, I'm always down to take requests. But I intuitively do feel like we're going to honor these 2 cards and do full readings. So if you didn't watch the other video that I just did, the other stream I just did, we have 2, the Maiden and the 2 of Cups, which is love in my Thoth deck, which is my base for all my tarot readings. So we dissected these a bit. I would say watch the other video. It's not super long, and there's not that. It's a lot of conversation more than it is tarot. I get that, but it's a little insight on me, and I did go into detail with these cards. But basically, see, the Maiden is like the knowing you're on the right path, and the 2 of Cups is like the reward, being love for being on that path, right? So let's see what's going on in our love lives. Let's see what's going on. I don't really like to restrict anything as simply as singles or relationships or whatever, because everybody's relationship is different. Every connection is different. Every love is different. Who am I to say who this reading is about? It doesn't have to be about your partner. You know, these are general. These are for whoever's watching, for anybody who tunes in. And I don't like to count anybody out, but, you know, we can always throw intentions on it. This is the most general sense. And remember, while these other decks may pull up romantic relationships, the decks are not oriented for romantic relationships, whereas this is only romantic relationships. Any other situations or things that come up in these readings somehow affect the romantic relationship. So let's just see what's the Hierophant. Maybe the reason it's so slow today is because I'm giving myself a public fucking reading, like just nothing the past few days. And like, it is my own energy. That's PNBD for you. Like, nobody fucks with Tyler Durden. I mean Lolly Durden. I mean me, full of testosterone and the inability to cope with not being a man. Right? I don't fuck with his energy as much. And I don't really want them to. But also, like, don't be afraid of me just because of it either. You know, I'm still nice and I'm still looking relaxed, calm. It's maybe even a lie. Somebody maybe gets a boner. And they're screamed at anyways, and that's like part of the, oh my god, the bottom of the deck is 2 of Cups. So we know we're done shuffling, because that's exactly where we started. Okay, what is this mess on the floor? I feel like I was talking shit. It was kind of funny. I dropped something. All went in reverse. I don't know what I said when I dropped the pile, but it was, I think it was funny, but not like in a nice way. And it was a little too real, because I may have dropped the ball in some way, or maybe, you know, whoever's watching, but at this point nobody is. That's why I'm like, this is an oddly public personal reading, isn't it? I thought I've given myself enough personal readings, but let's just roll with it. So if you come on here and get a message, that's great. So 9 of Wands. Look at this. Man has built a gate of emotions, and he is guarding it. He's guarding his staff. He's guarding his wall of wands. He's like, yeah, clearly there's a lot of emotions here, but I am going to keep you from them while also not explaining them. Yeah, we feel that. We can feel that. I don't know, maybe because it's so quiet, it's very general. This is part 1 of our little twin flame type reading, because the mystery deck is next. Hello, thank God. I hate talking to myself. I'm not even gonna lie. It's literally creepy. I get why people think I'm a narcissist. Please don't leave. That sounds desperate. What the fuck? It's... Anyways, joke. 8 of Wands. Live your life. But, you know, there are worse things in the world than having feelings. That's all. Learned that a long time ago. And that's sort of the base in all of this is like, once again, if we're just going to do very generalized love readings, mentioned this earlier, I don't like to divide it in between single and coupled and dating and not, or whatever. Fucking apply it to your life. Just know this is like romance and love and feelings, because that's what deck this is, right? So the masculine, this could be the fires, the airs, the men, the more male-leaning characters in the love story, okay, whatever, however it plays out. Very on guard. Emotions on display, but once again, not sharing. Don't come near it. Gonna pretend it's not there, but also like, hey, don't acknowledge it, because then I have to address that it's there, and it's just like this wall of emotions. And in a way, kudos to the masculine for like working on it, because we do have the 8 of discs. He's literally hard at work. He's like, I got all this progress, and yet I have to keep going because this tree is like this tall, and I can't stop here. I'm trying to rise to the top. I was at the roots, and now I'm working my way up to the trunk, and then I'm seeing the branches. And once you get to the branches, that's when it's like, fuck my fucking problems, right? Because you get to the root of your problems. And where is this analogy coming from? It's literally perfect. Whoever the fuck gave me this, God bless. It's perfect. So you get to the root of the problem, but here's the thing. The tree's already grown. So, like, you can see where the root of everything started for you, and you want to pull the root, but it's too late. There's already a tree. So you have to go up to the trunk, and you're like, okay, look at all this progress I made. I'm going to mark every single one in the same way as a tree marks its age, the rings. So here we are growing. And we're like, okay, I'm stable. I'm still a tree. Even with all those poisonous things in my roots, I still grew into something beautiful. But oh shit, I am not just a trunk. I have branches. And on my branches are leaves, birds, bees, worms, things, bacteria, I guess, things that eat leaves, whatever. I am now part of this ecosystem. My roots, my own toxic view or way of doing things, or what grew and shaped me, despite the fact that I have fixed it, found it, pulled it, it's already integrated into the entire ecosystem around me because it got to the branches. Take it in, right? Take it in. That's life. They don't tell you that when you're digging. That if you've already grown at all, then it's just grown into you. And that's what makes something ingrained, which is ironic because we're talking about wood, eh? So kudos to the masculine. Little do they even realize how much it's already affected everyone around them. It's not that it's too late. It's never too late to work on yourself. It's never too late to put in the work. But the lesson I'm learning this week is no one is obligated to accept your apologies. No one is obligated to forgive you. You know what I mean? Like, you can be as sorry as you want to. You still put in the work, still do the things, still growing, still trying to rid yourself of that toxicity and get to the point where you can let somebody be in or behind this gate. But at the same time, it's like you can only do your best to get the results you want. And in a way, you can't even get anything. You can't get any, how do you say that? They stumped me. But because the tree thing. You don't want to cut it down and start over. You just want to make sure that the fucking bugs that have been eating the leaves aren't sick at this point, where it's like, fuck, dude, it bled into everything, my whole environment. Yeah, you get it. We get it. Okay, and then we have the Hierophant. So honestly, I would trust me because this is Taurus. This is Lolly Durden style Taurus, masculine energy, even though Taurus is a feminine sign. It's so funny to me. This one is actually femme. That's funny. Tradition, sure, but I think like fixed energy, people see as stubborn or one-sided or stable, which I'm triple fixed and I don't identify with like any of those adjectives, quite frankly, and I don't even care. I mean, I care, but I can't care, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't see it necessarily as upholding tradition as much as it's sticking to your own plan and living by your own code. We were talking about righteousness in the last stream I did just earlier today, the short one. And to see the Hierophant being the femme that shows up when the masculine works on himself, even though he's doubting he's going to get the results he wants, because why would he? At this point, you absolutely don't deserve them, right? And she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She's like, well, if we're meant to be, then we're meant to be. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Keep working. Keep getting up that tree. Fuck the hill, bro. Yeah, I said it. Bitch, I am the, come on. I'm the Kate Bush of the group, and I still said, fuck that hill. It's time to get up that tree. Climb the fucking tree. You know? You want to make a deal with God? He's going to be like, well, look, I gave you the tree of life, and you poisoned it. So if only you could. Better get to work. Better get to work. Better make sure the soil that you're growing in isn't toxic waste now. Because, like, yeah, you found the root of the problem. The problem is root bled into everything. Great. So that's kind of the energy right now. It's like, yeah. The feminine is being super patient and trying to stick to the plan. She's just real glad that you're finally working, like acknowledging it or waking up to it, whatever it is. And Ace of Discs. Then things start kind of working out. Then you get the bag secured. Then maybe you put a ring on it. And then, you slowly, surely make it stable. Make it comfortable. Make it, bake the bread, so to speak. And you work together through those emotions, right? Because here we have the Seven of Wands. It's okay to wait on the emotional stuff. It's okay to need some love and support when it comes to facing some of those like deeper emotional wounds or traumas. And it's okay to want the lover to teach you or show you how to do that. It's about the other work that needs to be put in to the masculines. With the masculines is like, as long as you got all your other ducks in a row, as long as your job is taken care of and the house is taken care of and I'm taken care of and the, kids are taken care of, or, your hobbies, whatever it is, your little stones here, your little discs. As long as it's all being taken care of and you're working on yourself, then yes, it's okay to need some help from this presence of the femme to show you the way, to be able to work through the gates and the things like that, if that makes sense. It does, of course it makes sense. Why the fuck wouldn't it make sense? 10 of Cups, boom, boom, boom. Who gives a damn? Dumb. Great. 10 of Cups. Total fucking happiness. Satiety or whatever the fuck. I think it's satiety, right? Cool. Everything you could ever want. No. Love that. I love that. You wouldn't be a Capricorn, would you? The devil or somebody in this connection's dealing with the toxicity as addiction or just possessiveness in general. Bad relationships. Not bad relationships, but if we're talking about this, it could definitely be addiction within the relationship and addiction that binds the relationship or becomes the relationship, or one party is involved. Or if there's a third party energy in some of your readings, it could be a substance, or dealing with a Capricorn, or something that's not going to get resolved, unfortunately, until Capricorn season, which is like a few months from now. It's not even Virgo season, so that's like going to be a long 6 months if you're like working through something or waiting on something. So if you can be that patient with yourself and then continue the work, without that person or inspiration, then it's like, by all means, go for it. Stupid fucking songs. But love, in our life is just too valuable. Oh, to feel for even a second without notice. Queen of Wands. So, yes, we all get being patient, wanting to work on yourself and doing the damn thing and keeping your head down, staying in your lane, focusing on you. Yes, we get that, masculines, we do. However, you're gonna mess up or miss out on something if you cannot manage to do both. I want to go slightly more specific than just the broad feminine mask, as a bulk of my experience in dating and in like love coaching has been with some very straight and mostly monogamous relationships, right? My personal experience is more varietal than that, but again, when it comes to the coaching stuff too, it's like primarily the straight. So until men can realize that women have been balancing these things, like going to therapy or being able to gossip and vent with their friends, because gossip is not evil. Talking shit is unnecessary and rude. Sometimes you gotta bitch about things that bother you and let it go, but you have to understand why you're doing it. If you just senselessly talk shit about people, it's a lot different than like having a healthy gossip session with the friends or people in your community that you're closest with. Because one, you have to be able to assess the situation as safe or unsafe for the people around you or who might be affected by it. And two, you have to be able to know how people feel about things so you know that if your opinions truly align or not, right? Because if you're like, hey, so-and-so's doing drugs again, or, I think so-and-so is having an affair, and the other person's like, you're talking shit, you're being dramatic, then it's like, actually, you don't even have any concern for your friend in that situation where they're caught up in fucking drugs, or this person who's getting cheated on. Like, you don't even, you deem this as me talking shit when I'm actually just looking out for my friends, community, family, etc. So you have to definitely know the difference between gossiping and venting versus like talking shit senselessly. So recognizing that does take social skill and it does take a lot of discernment, and sometimes it could be helpful to have a therapist to check in with to make sure that you're not getting too sucked into anyone else's gossip. Taking care of the household, having jobs a lot of the time, sometimes having little side hustles or like baby stuff going on. This is all things I'm listing is just stuff that women have been doing for a lifetime. They've been balancing their emotional baggage with their home life and being able to have entire families while also taking care of themselves and everyone else, right? And then like for men to walk into the picture and one, be ungrateful, or two, say they're too busy to do the same thing is like, get real, bro. If we are able to do it and you want to sit here and say you're the dominant fucking gender or sex or whatever, you think that you should just mark your territory on everything, but you can't even fucking regard the fact that you are incompetent to what a woman does. Like a classic straight woman's role in the world, motherhood, wifedom, whatever the fuck. Men do not even fucking comprehend how much it takes to take care of children. No, I don't have any, but trust me. Oh, I take care. I have a nanny. I've been a living nanny. Oh my God, I know. And then to be the cooks, the cleans, the blah, blah, blah. Of course, if that's not the problem in the relationship, whatever, but also when someone has that to offer, you can't sleep on it no matter how busy you are, no matter how you gotta learn to balance, just like we have been all this time, right? Men typically, don't understand it, but also are ungrateful. And it's also generationally, yeah, that's it. I don't know what I said the first couple times, but I know it wasn't right. It's generationally passed down, weaponized incompetence. It's commonly created culture of narcissistic abuse tactics. And like, you can fight me on that. I don't give a fuck. You can call me a fucking militant feminist, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I just call it like I see it. I see it all the time. Once again, the coach stuff, you get so much insight on these relationships, right? So just like understand what's being served to you is what you deserve, right? So if you're complaining about your woman or your life or your home or your kids or whatever, Guarantee masculines, you're just simply not putting in enough effort. Whether or not this breaks a connection or makes a connection, because you can either step up to the plate and be that person, or you can let it fall apart and be like, it was all them, you know? Either way, as long as you are putting in the work and you are focused on what you need to do, you will be supported by this feminine flame, like your equivalent, your person, your twin. However, if you're not ready and you miss the ship, she's not turning back for it. You know what I mean? Like, if you have to be like, I'm really going through something right now. I just need time to myself. I just need to be alone. Okay, I mean, I get it. Been there, done that. Could help. You want me to help. You can't ask for help because you've been conditioned not to or whatever. The fuck. Right? And so we can go back broad. We can go broader with the masculines and feminines if we want to be more inclusive in the relationships. I wanted to make that statement about the very typical, cishet, because that's most often when that dynamic comes into play. But at this point, yes, we have the Four of Wands, which is like a union. So, maybe you're in a union, maybe there's a union coming. Once again, it's this energy of like, oh, I can't, the masculine can't be bothered, doesn't want to do shit, just kind of sitting around and working on himself. Oh, don't have time or energy for this conversation. Cool. Then don't have it. Then keep repeating that cycle. Then do it yourself. Then be ungrateful. Then bye-bye. Ta-ta. For now. For whatever. If not for now, then for the next 10 years. And in 10 years, it's not going to look as good. Even if you're revisiting now. It's like you're going to try to do it on your own. You're going to struggle twice as much as you need to. You're going to be half as far as you want to. And the femmes are going to just keep going because they're a little ahead already. They've been putting in more of the work. They understand the job a little bit better. So you got to ask yourself, can I not balance these things? Can I not have a proper relationship and continue to work on myself and my growth? Can I not address the feelings I have without being able to cope in some unhealthy way? Why is that even a question, y'all? You're in a really unhealthy place at that point. That is a fucking unhealthy place if I ever heard one. And I apologize to the person in the room who feels like they're getting a personal ass reading. And I don't even know you. But it's just me and you, buddy. Owie. And I'm not even done. Especially because think of it this way. I brought up Capricorn season earlier. If something doesn't happen like now, it's going to have to be 6 months from now, 10 years from now, whatever. It's just, it dwindles, Not that it has to be shiny and new, but also it's Leo season. Shoot your shot. It's going to be all methodical and calculated and well thought. And then Libra season will be too busy and profound. And then Scorpio season, it'll be the wrong energy, too sexual prow. And then Sag season, you might want to shoot your shot again, but you're being in your creative mind. And then by the time it's Capricorn season, you're just depressed again. It's Christmas, and it just seems desperate. And that's when it's 10 years down the line. What's the point? Do it now before you forget how. That was one of the rules of the house. Because we have a Queen of Wands. Someone obviously is bringing a lot of passion to the femme is bringing a lot of passion to this connection. Definitely a divine kind of presence. Is this the cards? No, these are the ones that fell. This is so interesting. They were all in reverse, and I just picked them up and was holding them and didn't know what I was holding, and now I'm holding them in the upright, but I don't know how we're going to read it yet. We have the Empress, so we already got the Hierophant, that's Taurus energy. This is like real Taurus energy, but the Empress is the femme beyond queens. She runs everything. She's got the whole empire. She's not just looking out for the castle. She's looking out for the whole fucking city. And Queen of Cups still has that maternal energy. Maybe you're dealing with two different women where we have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups and the Empress, maybe more than two women, or femmes where it's different signs. Water and earth are the femmes and air and fire are the masks. So it could be that there's some kind of love triangle, who knows, baby mama situation, a career woman and a lover and the mother of your children, something like that. I don't even know where this came from, but it's a lot to think about and a lot to consider, but you really have to see what your most beneficial options are. It's not about your options. It's your most mutually beneficial, because if you gain a lot from a relationship and they don't, and you choose to go down that road full knowing well that they are not going to benefit from the connection, then that's being selfish and you will pay for that. If it's mutually beneficial, you both get what you want out of it, but one person has feelings and the other one doesn't, then you will not like the results of that. But if both beneficial and feelings mutual, regardless of what the feelings are, boom, bing, 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 then you got a winner. That's how you have to narrow it down. You have to think kind of logically and a little narrowly and a little bit financially in order to make this romantic decision where it's like, if I plant seeds in any of these grounds, what will grow? Flowers are nice. That's great. Wheat's cool. But what about something like quinoa, where it's flowers and grains? Best of both worlds. It's pretty and practical. Not just pretty, not just practical. And maybe that sounds shallow to have to think that way, but you have to think that way. Page of Pentacles, because you're the one making the offer, sir. You're the one with the offering. You're the one with the disc, with the pentacle. You know what I mean? So you have to be smart about where you're putting your last dollar, basically. You're betting your bottom dollar on which one, who, what, and how is this even matters in love? Seems like a lot. Here's the thing, King of Wands. You've already made your choice in a sense. You want the Queen of Wands. Here is the King of Wands and the Nine of Swords. You want the equally matched creativity and passion. This King of Wands caught up with all these other women, the one who owns the shit, the one who carries the things, whatever, and then the one who's, the equal, the passion, the twin, the flame. The wands are fire, right? So twin flame. And the king is here. It's torturous. It's, the Nine of Swords is like self-torture, self-inflicted wounds, where he's already made that choice. But now he doesn't know what to do. Five of Swords. He's like, but for fuck's sake, bit late to be making that choice, isn't it? It's like, well, is it ever too late? Everything can change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Anything can change in any given moment. Things change all the time, every moment of every day. Why not just, embrace it? Embrace the change. So, we have Five of Wands. Yes, quite a bit of emotional turmoil. Even if you are feeling super connected to this person, even if you are feeling like this is your twin flame or whatever, there's still a lot of emotional turmoil, and you just know, or at least hope, that it'll work out for the best, and that's why the World is now at the bottom of the deck. But at the same time, there is some kind of sacred union that has already taken place or needs to take place, and you also are aware of that. And so you just hope that because you're being presented with options, or because you're at this crossroad where you have these like three different energies, or like paths or people to move towards, you're hoping that this is the right thing to do and that this is what you've been looking for and that this is the thing that you've been missing or talking about or in your heart of hearts, deep down, wanted romantically or in love, which you thought that you maybe had until you questioned who you really wanted. And it wasn't just this person or this person for these practical reasons or these, pretty reasons like we talked about, but it's the fact that you want someone to fulfill both of those needs, and it shouldn't be that hard to do. So you're walking away from a great offer, Eight of Cups. Walking away from a great offer, it's just not what is emotionally fulfilling for you. If that means walking away from the Queen of Cups, or it could even be if you don't have children and you're with someone who wants kids and you don't want kids, but then you meet someone who also doesn't want kids and you don't want to fuck this up for the person who wants kids, so you can walk away from them so they have a chance to have a family or whatever. It's that kind of energy because it's cups, Cups represent the family a lot. It's water signs, but also perspective, nurture, compassion, and a family unit. So you're walking away from some type of family situation or potential family situation. And then we have the Hermit, which is, I think, only the second. Oh my God, I think all the Earth signs came out because the Hierophant was out, and then the Devil fell out, and now the Hermit. So that's Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. So back to the self, looking within, being alone, maybe being single, withdrawing, not looking for an opinion, not looking for an outside influence, just going deep within and asking yourself, why did I turn away from this? And the Ace of Swords coming through like knowledge that it is, receiving knowledge, receiving the answer, trusting your intuition is a heavy theme where I said it earlier and I didn't make a big deal out of it, but this time because it's with the Ace of Swords, it's like, no, you have to trust your intuition. If the Ace of Swords is about picking and choosing battles, then your chosen battle. Like that this is the chosen thing. You know it because it's knowledge coming in, whether it comes through a dream or a song or a memory or something where it's just like when you are alone and you don't worry about anyone else's influence and you don't think about how your decision could affect anyone else, even though we are working on the whole ecosystem. What you want in those moments is the most pure request of your heart. Is when, if nothing else mattered, if you could just literally like pick a day or a person or something, like what would it be? No repercussions, no consequences, what would it be? And so when you come out of that, like when you come back out from looking within and you've got your answer and it's like, damn, what do you do to get it? What do you do to get it? Wheel of Fortune. Make a change, turn a wheel, make things happen. That's what you do. Even if it's not already yours, even though people do have free will, bottom of the deck is now Ace of Cups. You know that it's your fulfillment. You know that's how you become fulfilled. You know that that's where your mind has always been. It's time to do it. What's really stopping you? Eight of Swords, nothing. Literally nothing. Somebody set you up to think that you would fail at this. If you're like trying to shoot your shot and you're scared, it's because somebody told you that you would never get it. They set you up with these swords, right? These lies or whatever. And then you blindfolded, but didn't leave you attended. So you're just sitting there with your blindfold on thinking somebody's holding you to this position and that this is factual or you're captured and stuck in this position. You're not. It's just you and some swords. And you're going to turn around and be like, who the fuck did this? What the fuck? So, deceit. Other people's deceit is one reason you're not moving forward with this connection. And Three of Cups, there could be a third party because this is a romantic situation. But at the same time, the Three of Cups is such a celebration. It's weird, right? It's kind of it gives lesbian. Definitely gives lesbian, like maybe you're there. There might be like a lesbian thing going on. But Three of Cups, third party connection. Somebody has kids. Maybe they're just happy with what they've got. Maybe they're in a relationship or something. I don't know what that's about, but you know, the heart wants what it wants, but if you really want something, you will stop at nothing to get it, and that sometimes means risking everything, risking it all, putting your whole world and life on the line, and still getting rejected and humiliated. Because sometimes that's just what it takes to get your heart to stop asking for it. Gotta be okay with it. That was pretty good for this deck. I feel like these readings are usually a lot more boring and chill and like kind of romantic. This was a little feisty. This was pretty intense. I don't know that I've ever really Knight of Pentacles. I have a feeling that this is very earthy chat. Queen of Cups. At the end of the day, who can you really rely on? Probably the one you already got, right? Cheers. Hello. Just finished the pink deck. I liked it. It was pretty brutal. It's not usually that brutal with the pink ones. And now we're moving on to the mystery deck. Probably a bit romantic. Probably going to be very twin flame oriented. That's what the last reading was about. The reason I picked it is because I was doing tarot readings last week and just absolutely fucking lost a couple cards. Like I found them a couple days later. So this was one of them, the Maiden. So I was like, fine, I'll do it. Another one was from the pink deck, 2 of Cups. I said, fine, I'll do it. So it's where we're at tonight. It's been very quiet in here. Some really personal stuff, obviously. Emotions are running high. We just had a full moon. So to see emotions come up first, that makes sense. It's Leo season. I'm not an astrologer. I had a sneeze. Probably take a second to breathe. 40 minutes straight. I already have 4 cards. That's wonderful. Lights via energy. Okay. What's up? Why are y'all so quiet? Honestly, I don't mind. If you talk, it's like just stay on topic. You know what I mean? I've just been doing... Thank you. Thank you. Gosh, is the chat delayed that much? That's so funny. I'm just going to take a little bond wrap. I don't think I recognize you, Elmo. Welcome, by the way. I don't do personal readings. You might as well refrain from asking. I sometimes embarrass people when they bring it up. I do general readings, but as you can see, 3 is not much of a crowd, so you can consider it quite personal of a message when we're working with like a little tiny pond pool, right? Precious. So I did my Cosmic Initiation deck earlier. You can catch that replay. It's the 36-minute video that I posted right before this stream. And once this one's up, you can go back to the beginning and see the pink deck, which is my love and romance tarot. All of my decks have intended purposes. The mystery deck is for channeled messages from guides, gods, Galactus. Galactus? Come on, chill out. Gods, goddesses, guides, and galactics. So basically any channeled messages from anyone and anywhere, from the divine to the extraterrestrial, but not the deceased. No one in the underworld, right? There's certain entities that come up in the Halloween Oracle versus the entities that come up in the mystery deck. So the thing with the mystery deck is often when I'm doing general readings, they end up being about the twin flame experience. And because it was paired with the romance deck today, I do feel like it might go in that direction, but we might get a channeled message. We'll see how it goes. My name is Earl. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying your Saturday night. If it's hi, goodness, it has been quiet around here. I was wondering what was up with that. Although always grateful, even if people are creeping. Thank you. My cousin gifted it to me. It's okay. It's got its perks and its drawbacks. Perks, you pretty much never get water. Doesn't choke very much. But then, like, downside is it's super hard to clean this area. The whole thing. It's hard to clean. Really hard to clean. And I use some really high-tech stoner shit to clean my pieces. So I'm actually trying to smoke out of this thing, but true life, I'm addicted to bong rips lately. What are you gonna do? I like getting super high before I use the decks that are channeling because it's so much easier to just like submit to being taken over. You know what I'm saying? Once you are a little checked out yourself and aren't so self-conscious. Yeah, I feel it setting in. I feel like we might get a channeled message tonight. Maybe it won't totally be twin flame readings, but there's something about the energy lately that's all about that. And it's funny because Lionsgate closed where it's like, I think a lot of people maybe were just hoping or wishing or thinking about it the past few days. And maybe, honestly, that's really what Lionsgate comes down to is like love. Because Taurus is actually ruled by the heart chakra, but represents the throat. And Leo, I don't know what chakra they're ruled by. I think solar plexus, because that's the yellow one. But they are the heart. They represent the heart. And that's same in courage. And it takes so much heart and love and courage to approach someone or to be in love. And I think that's why a lot of these, like, long-winded, very romantic and unfinished type business connections have been coming up for people, especially during these cosmic events like Lionsgate or this super moon or whatever it is. So I suppose without further ado, we're going to crack into these little mystery cards. I'm going to start with what's on the table. The first thing that did come up, in case you missed it, was emotions. It's 29. Or I'm sorry, 19 emotions. 19 different emotions, probably the most common ones. And that in itself is like really hard for people to deal with. And I personally struggle to have patience with people who don't know how to deal with their emotions because I'm very expressive of mine. And I don't really understand why people run and hide from them. I think emotions are an absolute delight, no matter what variety they come in. And like, I just can't get over how much I enjoy feeling things and how human of an experience it is, and how we become so much more attached to the non-human animals that we know experience things like that, right? And so it's weird that we can't attach to each other when we show that side of ourselves. I think it's a very, very strange phenomenon that so many full-grown adults still make jokes about being scared of their feelings or not wanting to catch feelings. But I'm, a poet. So we have ninth position fire. He's holding the rose. And to me, the rose represents everything. Obviously, I'm a deadhead, so, like, let's start there. The rose has been my life. I've worked in floral. I have seen so many flowers. But there is such a universal feeling, and also this very long-winded story about a very strange time in my life that lasted somewhere between a month and like 1,000 years. Hello. In which the rose was presented to me as life itself and to represent everything. So much is tied in the rose that this is a time, this fire season, this Leo season, because this is a fire card right here, where whoever, whatever, hi, Dre, we're friends now. 007. It's been a while. I know you've been here, but it's been a while. Hello again. So ninth position fire, cradling this rose, is like having the world in your hands. right? Like having the world in your hands. And all it takes is one delicate movement to plant that into your reality, or just as swiftly can it be crushed with a solid clap, clap, clap. So don't mock yourself to death, right? There is some kind of awakening happening within the masculines. I can say that. Especially fire signs. I would say it's almost, thank you, almost exclusively fire signs. It could be the masculines, but it seems like this last week of Leo season is going to open up some eyes and some ears and some realities for fire signs. So it's Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Thank you. And this energy is going to pick up and probably drop off. And that's going to be the true test. So hear this out. If you are a fire sign, or if you are dealing with fire sign or have a fire placement, then you'll feel that, where you're like, feel this intense energy to go towards something, to do something, to take action, in this next week. And then you might not see the results you want immediately, or maybe you think you were right in the first place and that blah, 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 because all that energy just gets cut off. Fourth position fire in reverse. The femme doesn't really match that energy, where you're so almost too delicate with the situation. Fucked it up too many times. It feels a little bit like fellas or fire signs or masculines in general. It almost feels like no matter what you do, you might screw it up. No matter what you do, you might screw it up. But hear me out. Hear me out. Third position water would indicate that your feminines are expecting that. They're expecting you to mess it up. They're bracing themselves for you to come in a tornado, like completely chaotic. They understand that you shooting your shot may not land correctly or make the target necessarily, but they are okay with that. They are like, do your best. I can handle it. I am strapped in. I'm holding on by a goddamn thread or 6. The feminines are not matching this energy of, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. But they are embracing the effort to these poorly made shots, to these miscalculations, to these, what the fuck are you saying? It's okay. I get it. I kind of feel the same way. Like, I get where you're coming from. Me too. I feel you. Matching the emotions behind the actions rather than mirroring the actions. Now is the time where it's over. It's done. There's no more mirroring. There's no more pettiness. There's no more getting back at one another. There's no more miscommunications or misinterpretations. It's genuine places only. And the feminine knows that, and the masculine's working on it, but once again, this is your only opportunity. This window, this gate was open. Clearly you had it out for this feminine. You didn't do anything about it. You're still thinking about it. You've got another week or so. About it, buddy. You've got about a week to shoot these shots before summer loving happened too fast. And then it's like you didn't even have the blast. Come on. There could be a blast. We have no idea. So you've gotta take care of this in like the next week, basically, or it's over forever. And then you're back to square one, calculating whatever. 14th position, Earth, King of Earth. Getting in touch with your feminine side. King representing the masculine and Earth representing the feminine. That is the masculine getting in touch with their feminine side, because that's what it's going to take to connect to the feminines once again and to cure the roots and to heal the ecosystem. We have the mother. Okay? Number 4, the mother. This is Empress energy, but it's the mother, which is often tied to the mother wound.
This is a time, yes, 2022, you're the goddess, feminine energy, all that. We know this, but also it's like healing that connection, letting go of that hurt and getting over yourself, because no one makes it out of childhood unscathed. There are people who do have it much worse, and there are people who will never realize how bad they have it, right? And there's everyone in between. Nobody leaves childhood without wounds. You will always have an inner child to heal. That's the whole point. How much you need or how much you are meant to receive is all that varies. And that is why the experience is so different for everyone. But it is time to let go of the mother. I don't want to say mother fetish because y'all are so fucking weird. But the whole aspect of expecting the mother from every feminine or every relationship, in addition to the partner, the caretaker, the organizer, the manager, the housekeeper, all these roles, and men want to just be one thing, and that's a man. Like, shut the fuck up. You can't even step into the father. You can't even address your father wounds. You've got it all pinned on the mother. Why? And that's just how it is. Especially these days, it's all about I hate bringing up Roe vs. Wade in such a casual way where I don't really speak on it, but I have really, not mixed feelings, because it's shitty that it happened, but for people to act surprised that it happened is just kind of ridiculous, where it's like, yeah, you trusted it. You slept on it. You took it for granted. You didn't even fucking care it was there until they said they're taking it away, and now you're making a stink when you put your whole fucking life into their political system. Good job. You thought your fucking political party vote would keep them safe. Here we are, you not understanding the system that you're partaking in, right? Wounded feminine. Wounded feminine. Generations, decades, centuries of this unhealthy, unequal, uneven dynamic between the masculine and the feminine. And we have the chance to start over. It's 2012. Everything has been tested to the fucking limits. Everything's been put on blast. We have been so exposed to each other, to ourselves, to the world, so interconnected and divinely disconnected that things rapidly changed in the last 10 years, and especially the last 6 years, right? When you really think about it, there's a huge movement that came with that 2012 wake. It may have been the end of some world and not another, whichever. But at the end of the day, you have to let go of this idea that it's anyone else's fault or problem to be fixed but your own. And while people can help you on that journey, they cannot scream it out of you. They cannot force it out of you. They cannot pull it out of you. They cannot work it out of you. You have to remove it yourself and come knowing that the damage you have is the damage done to everyone who has life on this planet. Think about wild-ass animals who have a mom for a millisecond, a couple weeks, a few months, and then they're dips out. All right, you're good, right? On your own for eternity. Maybe you'll find a mate someday and do the same thing I'm doing. Peace out. It's who even knows what kind of trauma they're passing down, right? Weird to think about animals that way, but it's only to relate to humans, isn't it? So yeah, third position, fire. Lots of fire energy for this last week of Leo season. It kind of reminds me of the Fool. He's traveling light. He's on a journey. He's looking for emotional fulfillment, and he's moving away from these tired old excuses. It's amazing to see the masculine step up to the plate and do the work. And look at this Lady Gaga, 9th position water, finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. finally looking up and seeing the fully formed, evolved masculine before her. Beautiful, the water is crystal clear, just like her vision. And then we have a King of Air. What is this? 14th position air. Wonderful. King of Air. Double masculine. The masculine representing masculine and being adaptable, being able to change direction. I love it. And then we have Union, 13. Union. It's what it's all leading up to, is so that you can finally come together and know what it feels like to have that twin flame connection. This is not... Twin flame is not just a once-in-a-lifetime connection. It's a happens when it happens connection. It's not even always once in a lifetime. It's sometimes never in this lifetime. Sometimes it takes 500 years to find you again. Sometimes it might take 50 tries to get it right even. And sometimes it never lines up. Sometimes you hate them. Sometimes you gotta do it all over again. So if you have this very small window of opportunity and you think you know who your twin flame is, you've got to do anything you can and say anything you need to say before it is literally too late and you have to wait 8 more lifetimes. Second position air. Duality of man. Figuring out how to be woman. Dropped a few more cards. Oh, good thing I came down here because I got a fucking pink one. I guess it's like easy for me to... Man, I got a damn demon bag here, bro. Okay, I just been leaving cards back. I didn't even use this deck today. This is like literally days ago. Okay, so I guess I'll do the demons after this because I was literally just thinking I'm kind of done with the mystery deck, but there's a few more cards and then it's like, oh, buddy, I dropped another one of these, and then, oh, buddy, here's a demon deck, and the reason I picked the love deck and the mystery deck is because I dropped them, so if I dropped the demon deck, I might as well do those too. Holy hell, dude. Should you ever shut the fuck up? I've literally been talking for an hour straight. This is one of the quietest streams I have ever fucking had. It seems like nobody's even really chatting or watching half the time, and that's fine. But man, it's impressive sometimes, even for me, to sit here and be like, damn, bitch, you have barely taken a breath in the past hour and it was just to hit the bong. You good, bro? Yeah, I'm fine. Why? The Maiden. So this is the card that I initially found, like dropped out of the deck, and that's why I was using this card this week. And it's paired with a lot of cards in reverse here. We have the 8th position fire in reverse. I would say if the masculine is waiting for the feminine to make the first move, I would say that the feminine has already made a move and will not be moving forward on this connection, and that it is entirely on you at this point. If you are still waiting for a sign, 4th position water in reverse. Okay, he's like checking himself out, staring in the mirror. It's very egotistical. If you're still waiting for a sign, you missed the signs you've already received. And at this point, the masculine and feminine need to be balanced, and it's time for you to step it up. We are talking 11th position fire is literally masculine and feminine. It's time to come into balance. It's time to stop expecting so much from the femmes and expecting them to do more, say more, another thing, one more thing, just this, and then this, and then this, and then I'll know for sure. You already fucking knew for sure before they said a goddamn word. Now they're actually trying to talk to you. Now they're actually trying to say something, and you want them to be the only one starting the conversation, and you can't figure out why you haven't heard from them in days. Do they not care anymore? No, they want to be met with the same efforts. Especially if you've already turned them down or rejected them, or vice versa. Where it's like, yes, I rejected you once, I'm trying to give you another chance, and you're dropping it. Okay, fine, I'll drop it. Is that what they want? Probably not if they came forward in the first place. Dum-dums. 8th position water, queen of water. Very compassionate, caring, motherly energy. Could be your everything. Could be, you know, the mother that you need, so to speak. And then we have number 15, abundance. could be your everything if you let it be your anything. Child in reverse, maybe someone with no kids, maybe there's some deal with children, maybe you're worried that the Queen of Cups will take the children, maybe you're worried you'll never have children. I don't know what that's about, but masculines, figure it out yourselves. Do what you like. Look, look who came out. That little journeyman and the mother. You need to go kind of like either ask your mom about it, or if your mom passed away, you need to make peace with it. Go talk to her grave, whatever you got to do. But stop letting it affect your everyday life and your own growth, because you're a little caught up in what has already happened and what can never be undone. And what was always, man, this one again? Both of them again. You're literally watching me shuffle. The journey is the mother wound. Okay, so stop saying, "Oh, these girls have daddy issues." These women that you're dealing with are meant to show you your mommy issues. But if you could stop projecting that in the way that you think it's somehow a woman's problem, that a father has shortcomings, sounds like that's on you, buddy. That's on you. Okay? Look at how sweet. 10th position water, orchestrating everything perfectly for you. That is so sweet of the feminine. And of course, King of Earth, 14th position. Earth, all you got to do is get in touch with that side of yourself. This feminine has allowed you to become the masculine of both of y'all's dreams. The man that you've always wanted to be, so to speak, and the man that she's always needed you to be has become possible because of her love and her efforts and her catering, her straight up orchestrating it. Okay, and look, we've got 6th position water. You have guides and goddesses and higher power, higher status femmes that are reaching out and helping you along this journey. And you know you're on it. You are already on it. You're already on this journey. But you're having a hard time admitting to, one, the shortcomings as a father or the father wound, right? Because it's the mother wound journey. Okay? Or you fear 5th position fire, maybe some homo sort of erotic. Maybe if you get too in touch with your feminine side, homosexuality is like a deeper rooted fear. And it's like, why are you afraid of that? It's really weird. You obviously don't think very highly of yourself if you don't think very highly of other men, right? Projection. So maybe you fear falling for a man because you know that he's up to no good and full of shit. And then literally turn around and expect women to deal with it. Very sus. 13th position, Earth, Queen of Earth. Yes, the femmes already know that. They know that. It's your destiny. Okay? It's your fucking destiny. Just shoot your shot, goddammit. Y'all are so irritating. I can't believe how dragged out some of these readings are. Last year, when it wasn't even last year, but it was last zodiac year. It was probably like February-ish when I was doing the twin flame readings for the first time, where I was like, God damn it, that's really not my thing. But it does work well with this deck. I'm so confused as to what cards are. I feel like this deck is split in half. That would be, I'm like, should we just read all of these that are face up right now? But that would be like a lot. It's so funny. So it's never been like something I was seeking to do, but I feel like it was always very different, and there was a lot of like back and forth energy before, but this past 3 or 4, I call this the mystery deck, but I think it's technically like the Golden Gaia by Raven Simone, Ravenclaw, Raven Pheromones, I don't remember her name. I have like 6 other ones though. And it seems like a very repetitive cycle or sentence with this type of reading lately, where a few months ago it was very, like I said, very back and forth, and it was a lot of progress and kind of like setbacks on both sides. Oh, that's cool. I don't really know what that means, but that's very cool. Where lately it just feels all very much. It's very repetitive and it's kind of one-sided at this point, and I think that's why it's like, okay, it's tired. Speaking of decks, I'm good on this. I feel like we roasted the masculines quite enough. Yes, 4 suits in this one as well. Ooh, 4 planes. That sounds cool. I have other decks. I've already done the pink deck, which is like, oh yeah, I was gonna do the demon deck. So, the demon deck lately, I've been getting like these channeled readings with the demon deck, and that's not usually typically how I use that deck, but it's been happening lately. I usually just read like a little message out of the book when I use the demon cards. If you missed it, I just found this on the ground and I was like, okay, I gotta put it back, so I might as well pull it out. And I found another pink deck, which is why I used it earlier. So it's just kind of like, god damn it, I might do a little more of that if I have time. But right now I'm going to do demons, and we're going to start with Abigor. Okay, let's talk about it. You want to talk about it? Because you seem like you were feeling chatty, and honestly, I was just complaining that it has been way too quiet on this channel tonight. I usually have people who will like talk through the readings and stuff, and it's fun, but it's just been like creepy for me this whole night because nobody's talking to me. It's really uncanny. There's not been that many people here, but like it has been very unusually quiet. I feel like I usually have such a talkative crowd, and a lot of times they know a lot about tarot already, so it's just a lot of fun. I don't want people to think they can't talk. I just don't like when people get too off subject if I'm already doing something. So right now we are in between decks, and I don't remember you. You may have been on here like once. Pissed Off Sweet. I feel like I'd remember that. But welcome back, whatever it is. So the demons. So one thing I like people to know about me is that I am a confirmed Catholic. I was born and raised Catholic, Roman Catholic. I am Italian American. I went to Catholic school. I got my baptism, my reconciliation, my communion, my confirmation. My patron saint is Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. It was between her and Saint Lucy, and I still to this day wish I picked Saint Lucy. That's fine. You don't have to buy into any of it. All I'm saying is that I'm very Catholic, so I have a pretty classic definition of demons, but I also feel very connected to them. Because I am Catholic, I don't go to church anymore, but I did my whole life. I think I have the credentials, the experience. I am Catholic on my resume, okay? So, I'm more omnipotent now. That's not the right word, but you get it. Like, I just believe in whatever comes to me, basically. The demons are strange, but here's the thing. The demons, like, half of them were angels at one point, and angels are very demonic looking, kind of. And so it's very questionable if there really is, kind of like this heaven and hell, angels and demons polarity, if it's more like this, in my opinion. So I'm not saying that I don't believe in God. I honestly think he just sounds like an asshole. And my personal God is a neon monster in space who doesn't control anything but is connected to everything and is very happy. So that's God to me. Looks like a Ramin Nazir painting. Okay. So, but I love Jesus. Probably drug dealing gay alien. Not going to go into it. You can watch Stoned Current Events on my website right now if you are curious about that statement. But it's true. Verified Catholic. Right? Verified fucking... It's not blasphemy. I'm Catholic. So, demons. A lot of them angels. Angels, pretty cool in everyone's book. God sounds like a real douchebag in the Bible, just fucking killing people relentlessly, can't be questioned. We're not going to take it. I always question authority. What the fuck you mean? All about the rebellious way of life, regardless of Satan. I grew up Catholic. I grew up in the system. I wanted to be a nun for half my life. Sometimes I still want to be. Like, don't get me wrong. But for you to say God can't be questioned, what the fuck did Lucifer did? That's what I'm saying. What did... The reason... Okay, if anything he did bad, whatever. The only reason that he was kicked out of heaven is for questioning God's ultimate rule. And I think that's fair. If you really were the ultimate creator and you actually empathized with your creations, then you would have no problem answering that question. If you truly backed up your own beliefs, then you would definitely not back away from that question. Like, what are you hiding, God? And to kick him out and give him his own place of ruling, that is just admitting to equal power. You're like making a scene just to hush out the door. Listen, if you never bring this up again, I'll give you your own place and blah, blah, blah. We'll figure out who goes where later. Just go. I don't want any of them to know. You figured it out. Like, that's how they kind of made it sound. That is exactly what the fuck they did. Now, child sacrifice, I'm sorry, that was God's thing, though. I don't know how familiar you are with the Bible or which Lucifer you're referring to, but if we are talking about the good news, kind of Catholic Bible, God's thing first was sacrificing children. They were sacrificing to their old gods and God. He asked Abraham to sacrifice his kid and then was like, okay, so I didn't make you kill your kid, but now you gotta all get your dip snicked. Your dip snicked. We all know what I meant, right? And what the fuck is that? It's ruined entire fucking bloodlines of men. Okay, I hear you. I don't think it's any more messed up than God flooding the entire world just because they pissed him off. You're talking like a menial sacrifice that Lucifer made compared to God's mass genocide throughout the entire storybook. It's like Lucifer literally did not ever do anything that God didn't do because God questioned everybody's actions and motives. And then when God was turned around and treated that way, then how are you about to say, like, you have an ultimate higher being, you know? Well, Lucifer doesn't give anything. But why can't God answer the questions? That's what I don't understand. Why can't God just answer the questions, especially if he's got them all, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's my take on demons. They're really no different than angels because most of them are angels. Because people feel the way they do about demons, and I understand because I grew up Catholic, I do restrict the demon tarot. It's not even really tarot. It's literally just individual demon cards. I restrict it to things that you would associate classically with hell, like labor, work, money, the economy, and stuff like that, where like I don't tie in love and family and relationships into this deck. It's strictly for laborious activity and the profits of laborious activity, basically, and like our own sentencing, if you will, like jobs and career and having to work. That's like what I use my demon deck for. So, no gods, no masters, no dogs, no children. You know, like mountain goats. Love it. So first we got Abigor. This is just advice on work and career and other such things. Focus on fostering loyalty and building teamwork skills. Yeah, so if you're on a new job or even an old job that you haven't really gotten acclimated to or really connected with anyone, now is a good time to create some bonds and get a more family vibe if you think that you're going to be at this job for a while. Yeah, I think ultimately Lucifer is kind of more good than God, to be honest. God sounds like a fucking psychopath and honestly is a lot like the United States of America, writing themselves as the hero when they are consistently extremely villainous. They've gaslit an entire country into thinking they live in luxury because they have name brand goods, even though most people are living in really unaffordable or otherwise impoverished conditions. Crazy. That sounds like God to me. That sounds like the same story of like this God is benevolent and all good and he is the ultimate creator and he is everything and it's God's will, blah, blah, blah. And then he does asinine, disastrous, genocidal maniac shit. And everyone's like, yeah, you should trust it. Why the fuck? What? What? Who is this guy? He's your dad? Fuck the original daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? And then everyone's like, oh yeah, it was Eve. No, it wasn't fucking Eve. It was God being fucking weird and saying, don't eat this piece of fruit that I created for you. Like, what kind of fucked up torture chamber bullshit, right? I'm glad that bitch ate the apple. What the fuck? What the fuck? That is so sadistic, dude. Like, and then everybody associates sadism and masochism with like heathens and hell and pleasure and desire, and it's like God invented all of that stuff way before Lucifer was ever even in the picture. It is so bizarre what they believe, and I know this shit, like, know it because I did spend 11 years not just in the Catholic Church but at Catholic school. It was my whole life. It was integrated into me, and I still do go to church sometimes. Lucifer, right here. I might be channeling him a little bit. He's getting quite defensive. He does not like this argument. And the thing about child sacrifices, Lucifer himself is a child. So why the fuck did God banish an angel to look like a child for eternity and then send criminals there? Who is the asshole? Who is the asshole? I always say Lucifer's a Libra. That's so funny. And it's really funny that you say it's not about making a tree literally, because I had a very beautiful tree analogy going on earlier. So that's really funny that you would bring up a tree. I'm just saying, I actually am starting to feel very passionately about this conversation. I think I may have been channeled. God is definitely sounds like an asshole to me, is all I was saying. I think everyone's an asshole in their own way. So now I have a ton of these cards. I usually don't read this many out of the book. If God is a Libra, no. If Satan's a Libra, then God is a Capricorn. Because they are both cardinal, and we are all really bored. Yeah. Get a mutable God or something. At least throw an Aries in there. You know what I mean? Maybe Jesus was an Aries, but he gives me mad Taurus vibes. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. But I get it. You don't want to say too much because it's like, man, I've been so caught up in this faith, and yeah, I don't like extremist views either. That's why I'm like, dude, I fucking get down with Jesus H. Christ and all his fucking, whoever that league of dudes is, whatever they're, he was hanging out with like 12 naked men all the time. Yeah, like that's cool. Mary Magdalene, that's a heroic ass woman. That is beautiful, dude. I just believe Jesus was a guy who had a life, and I don't know why virginity became such an important factor, like growth being taken out of the Bible, where Jesus is 12, and then we don't really hear from him until he's like in his 30s, and it's like, I'm sure he made some mistakes and did some wild shit in his youth, but we don't have to pretend like he never did that, because then a lot of Christians have this like sense of like, anything I did before I became a Christian doesn't count. And it's like, yeah, the Bible did the same fucking thing. Everybody hated Jesus up until he was crucified, and then they felt guilty about it. And that's pretty much Christianity in a nutshell. Interestingly enough. I love that this is the demon reading tonight. It's like not about work necessarily, but it's just like getting the story straight. Like, facts, God, biggest dick in the fucking Bible. I mean, sure, God has big dick energy, but dick as in very bad, mean person, God takes the cake over everyone in the fucking human Bible. Crazy, right? Somebody was like, I'm not doing all that. Yeah, no, I get it, but I don't get it. Why have so much fear in one story? Why put so much fear into one story, one vision, one person? Life is so much more dynamic than that. And honestly, if there is no universal God that is unanimously accepted by all people, then that what's the word? It's not instinctive, but intrinsic. I can sometimes picture words, so I don't always know how to say them, and I kind of get their meaning. If something's intrinsic, like intrinsic. Now I can't remember what I was trying to say in that sentence. If there is no universal and unanimous God, then we have to assume that any and all gods are possible and present. So to have complete fear or complete devotion into one singular God or religion is a bit of a fallacy. And just honestly, it's like they tell you don't put all your eggs in one basket, and people get real dedicated to like one specific religion. And it's like, why would you do that? That just goes against all your human living rules that you've been following all this time. What's up with, you know? But I love my little demon donuts, my little demon servants that like help take care of the house whenever I'm alone. They're just the sweetest. I love my little babies. So, but I go to hell every month. I do the whole descent. You know, I've got a child down there I go visit. You know, it is what it is. But I don't know if we're gonna get much of the. Maybe I'll read one more of these. Bereath. I'll put these away. We can pick a different deck if you want. That's funny. I just said let's pick a different deck, and you're talking about Aleister Crowley talking about sun being God. Okay, so I do have an Aleister Crowley deck. Should I pull it out? And it's funny because it's actually an Egyptian deck, and so what you're saying right now about Aleister Crowley saying that the sun is God is actually sort of rooted in ancient Egyptian religion, where they did have many gods, but Aten was the god of the sun. And when Akhenaten was in power, and him and his wife Nefertiti worshipped Aten as if he were the centric god, and that he were the ultimate power, ruler, or source of creator. And it was very unpopular at the time to only worship one god. And that's why Akhenaten's rule was very questioned by the people. And it didn't help that him and Nefertiti had a polyamorous relationship in which he was married to another woman, and she was married to 2 other men or something like that. And he also physically looked very different, and it's very possible that not that he was trans, but there was some speculation about his genetics, because he was so radically different from the way they presented Egyptian people during that era that people weren't sure if he was built different or if they were manipulating the images of others at that time so much that he looked different. So, I think that's where Aleister Crowley gets it from. Solomon was the son of Aten, I think. This is what you're getting at. And Isis, Aten and Isis had Osiris and Set. And that's where gingers come from, and they have no soul because they're all children of Set. Yeah, it's crazy when you like realize there's actual religious beliefs for some of the common ideology that we jokingly share to this day. Pretty funny when you think about it. That is the story of Set. So, yeah, I love shit. I'll pull out the fucking Thoth deck. Is that cool? I mean, does that sound good? I think the vibe is not really demons. I guess I could read a few of these little excerpts if anybody is kind of wondering. All those bugs buzzing around your head. Beelzebub. The eyes and ears and flies on the walls, and somebody might be spying on you. Don't take it too literally, but just know that someone may be talking or watching you. So let's just get some good advice. We're going to just take a little advice from each of these guys. This is about upcoming financial forecasts, whether it is specifically in your career or in the general economy. Let's just get it going. I'm going to go in alphabetical order. So we're starting with Berith. Go to Berith. He says, focus on material gain, but beware of greed that can turn to dangerous motivations. Okay. It's okay to want to spend your money, but don't, get too caught up and end up losing out more than you gain. All right, so you're a gnome. Beware of holding on to things past their natural end. Focus on allowing grief and loss to run their natural course. Move on to a new cycle. If it's time to quit a new job and get a new job, then so be it. If it's time to let something go at work, then so be it. If it's time to move on and invest your money different, then so be it. But now is the time to start something new and do something fucking different. Okay? Me same, but honestly, here I am once again, torn into pieces, broken up deep inside. But you will not see these tears I cry behind these hazel eyes. Okay, so we got Zabos. Focus on romance and comfort. You need to unwind after work. You need to relax. Listen. If you like someone at work, then you let go of the fucking job for them, basically. If you are coming home and doing nothing but talking about work, you need to shut the hell up and give your partner the attention they deserve. If you cannot separate the two lives that you have, then you need to sit down and relax, man. Okay? Love and comfort, you need to leave work at work and come home sometimes, okay? Cool. So put the demons away. Sometimes I just need a second. It's literally so much. I've just been doing this for an hour and a half straight. I'm just a twisted fuck. A pissed off Swede. I'm not like directly making fun of you. I'm just teasing. Regular Thoth deck. Let's go. I will be our right B. I am just grabbing a little bit more water because I drank all mine. I've got some time, so I am about to pull out the Thoth deck. The Thoth deck is the most situational, general, just kind of let anything goes deck. It is an Aleister Crowley deck. It is Egyptian inspired. Because we were having that conversation, I decided to use his deck. It is a classic. It's the first deck that I ever learned tarot on. I got it used the first time, and then I bought it again because I love it so much, and I used the fuck out of it in a lot of like dive bars and other sticky situations. So let me grab some water, and then we are going to get into the Thoth deck. I love it. Okay, I'm back. We lost my chatty friend, I see. So long, Swede. Unfortunate. I was using the Thoth deck for them. Don't really need to use the Thoth deck if we want something different, but if we're cool with it. Y'all been quiet the whole night. You're not about to start talking now, I guess. Huh? Honestly, I had to switch my laundry. That's why it took me so long. Even when I'm not working, I'm always working. So what are we in the mood for, folks? What's good? What's going on? How we doing? How we living? What is it? What's the word? The bird. I need some incense. What are you doing? Don't you know that the sunshine don't feel right when you're inside all day? And I wish it was nice out, but it looked like rain. Gray skies are drifting, not living forever. They told me it only gets better. My regret looks just like texts I never sent. And I've got neighbors that more like strangers. We should be friends. I just need a way out of my head. I'll do anything for a way out of my head. You know, like Mac Miller. It was like my little intermission. I had that song stuck in my head while I was switching my laundry. It almost made me want to be like, ooh, are we going to do a channeled Mac Miller reading? But I don't think there's really an interest for it. Okay, quiet crowd. Do a little thaw, fuck it. Last minute messages. Probably tune in later. Okay, these cards came out fast. They kind of all did today. There's definitely some shit going on. Like I said, Lionsgate closed like yesterday. Now Leo season's playing out, finishing up, sitting back, relaxing, seeing what's going to happen. Just trying to go with the flow and not work away the rest of your summer. We've got about a month. Can you please not beef out right now? Bro, come on, man. Enjoying the rest of summer, just like the remainder of Leo season this week. All that. So let's kind of see what's happening behind the scenes. I think that's what this is about. So at the bottom, beef ramen. Thank you. Hey, be nice to that baby. I saw you pat him. Be nice. Broseph. Hi. This kitten. His name is Beef Ramen because we got beef. All right. Just started this reading. It's very general. This is what's going on behind the scenes as we close out Leo season. What up, Angie? So we have the Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Once again, the masculine coming in and trying to fix shit. Maybe not knowing how, but possibly having the best intentions. The Knight of Swords is quite calculated. He is a bit cutthroat, but he is hardworking. He might come off as a little cold. He might come off as a little abrasive. He might come in swinging piping fucking hot and have a pretty sharp tongue. Might be an air sign you're dealing with. You might be an air sign. You might be the masculine to somebody's feminine union, right? You might be the masculine in your divine connection. The masculine elements are fire and air, and that's the thing, is like, yo, have I been the problem? And I'm thinking, oh, it's men, but my man's a earth sign and I'm an air sign, and oh my god, am I the masculine? Like, am I the one who's holding us back? No, you're the Empress. Don't worry about it. I'm like kind of kidding, but also like very, very clear. Ace of Discs again paired with them. We are seeing the Empress a lot, and I do believe the Knight of Swords came up in the love reading I did at the beginning of the stream. So we have a few things going on here, and I'm seeing a lot face down, because once again, this is not asking what the situation is. This is not asking what people are feeling. If you want some insight on that, you will have to start this stream over. I love the Empress, and honestly, as a Taurus, I do firmly believe that the Taurus should be represented by the Empress and not the Hierophant. One, because Aries is the Emperor, and it goes Aries, Taurus, so why not be Emperor, Empress? Two, Aries is ruled by Mercury, which is why it's the Emperor, or Mars. Aries is ruled by Mars, I don't remember. But Taurus is ruled by Venus, and the Empress represents Venus, so why are they not the same? And three, feminine, earth, water, might as well. What is the fucking point? Like, how did we not get the Empress? It's a crime. It is a literal crime. Anyways, this is what's going on behind the scenes, and what your masculine is kind of like doing behind your back, but maybe in a good way. And how you should just be focused on yourself and keep this bag fucking secured, bro. Because, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is behind all of these steps being taken, okay? So even if you can't see what he's doing, know that he is doing it, whoever he is, the proverbial he. So what's going on in front of you is, like, maybe new stakes on the plate type shit, you know, new stakes for vampires, or the stakes are high in a game, sweepstakes, whatever vibes, magic, manifesting, finally getting what you asked for. And the Fool, you know you're about to be on this journey, and the best way to go on a journey is open mind, open road, open wide, you know what I mean? Wide load coming through, like letting it all happen to you. Let it unfold. Let it be the journey that it's meant to be. But you are being blocked from celebrating this energy. We see these potential, it's not even potential anymore. It's like, again, the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Discs are paired with this Empress, but this masculine is still in his Knight of Swords phase. He is still working on it, and he's still coming towards you, but it's not great. That's okay. You work together, you figure it out. The feminine is stepping up to the plate. Way beyond that, the feminine's been at the plate and now is up to bat, right? Been coaching the damn team, doing everything, and is about to get a home run. Okay, that's where the femmes are. The water signs, the earth signs, and the women, the femmes, the whoever, you know what I mean? But there is something blocking you from moving forward, and that's what's so strange for you right now, is it's like, what is going on behind the scenes? Because I feel like I'm supposed to have this thing, I'm supposed to have this moment, I'm supposed to have this journey, I'm supposed to be doing this. That's really funny. But also, what's your birthday? Because that's what I was saying, is air and fire are the masculines. So sometimes it's like you could have, because, you know, what about like a woman and woman relationship? Is like, someone's got to be the masculine here. You know, it's like, it could be anything. It could be any dynamic. But if you feel like that's still a struggle for you, then easily all of these readings could be from the perspective of finding that balance within. And knowing that even if you want to present as the femme, we all have the union within us. Because these energies are not exclusive to how we perceive, not necessarily sex, because there is at least 3 sexes, but how we perceive the main gender roles. has very little to do with the divine energies that are represented as simply as masculine and feminine, because they create the universal balance that is the divine union. Okay, so something is blocking this from happening for you, and I have this lined out in a card. I almost said in a car, and I was like, what are you saying? I have the cards lined up. That's what I was trying to say. But there might be, that's totally fair. You should heal, and you should be with someone who wants you to heal and doesn't want you to stay broken. And it's sometimes hard to spot people who want us to stay broken because they can come off as really kind and supportive. It's mind numbing when you step away and be like, damn, you like the unhealed version of me, don't you? You hate that I'm setting boundaries, don't you? Like, it's tough. Healing's tough, but it's, I don't know if it's worth it. I have not seen, no, I'm kidding. It's totally worth it. So I have it lined up, but when I was saying that, I was saying in a car. So if there's somebody that you were thinking about in a car, or you were in a car with, or you called when you were in the car, or like, I'm even getting like a dream. Yeah, we can pull out the Halloween oracle if I got time. I had like a personal appointment at 11, but we'll see how it goes. It might be earlier than that. So I have like another hour. We can definitely pull out the Halloween oracle and get a little bit into that. So we've got something in a car. Maybe you had a dream somebody was in a car, or you have something about a car, which is weird. I don't usually pull out that vague of stuff, but there might be someone who had like a very iconic kind of car. Anyways, it's all lined up, but above the Magician and the Fool, there is a card face down in reverse. So when it's face down, it's like what's blocking us, or what needs to come to surface, what needs to come to light. And then if it's in reverse, it's like the opposite of whatever it would be upright or without that thing. And then below it, we have the star, which is Aquarius. If you're an Aquarius, or I am Aqua Moon, this is basically me because it's like an Aquarius with a moon. You could even be dealing with a water sign because Aquarius is the aqua water bearer, you know. If there's no Aquarius in the situation. Could also be something that happens Aquarius season, which won't be till January. But it's also a surprise. It's also like something that takes you by surprise or catches you off guard. But it can also just represent focusing on yourself and being the star of your own show, and like not putting your focus elsewhere, where you feel like you've taken the step where you finally put yourself first, and that's why you're at this precipice of a journey about to begin and living out your manifestations. But there's something else that you have yet to accept, and there's something that is standing in your way. So first we'll see what's standing in your way. Six of Wands, victory. You think it's not real. You still think it's not real. You still think it's not real. Okay, so let's say for me, I cannot divulge the things that I think because I sound fucking insane. I have literally no proof, no evidence, and no 3D picture or happening that would support my own constructed theories on what I think. But since you shared that you have transgender experience, let's use this analogy. Six of Wands, victory. So Wands, emotions. 6, pretty good number. We're not at an even kill 5 base point, but also boring. We're 1 up. We're at the 6. 6 of Wands, victory. Our emotions, we have overcome. Okay? We have to accept that we have won, and we are worthy, and we are deserving. So let's put it this way. Maybe you're like, oh, what did you say? I need to be able to heal first. I'm trying to push it away. You're not really truly accepting that you've already become who you are, or proven yourself, or know your worth. You have to accept the win. If you recently broke up with someone and you're like kind of regretting it, you have to understand that you did the right thing. If you got the job but you feel like imposter syndrome setting in, You've got to accept that these things were for you and that they are yours. What's in your way? Victory. That's wild. What are we thinking right now? What is standing in the way of our magic and manifestations and our journey opening up for us to live it, other than us not accepting that we have already won? We have already done this. We have already decided. It has already been chosen for us. And what we have yet to accept is the change required for these things to happen. So I keep saying this lately. I think it's kept wondering where I heard it from, but I know it's a vague mention in the show Sex Education. There's a scene where they're at an NA meeting and there's a quote on the wall that said nothing changes if nothing changes, and then they use it in the show. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So we have yet to accept that some things may never change, and that a lot will change in order to call in this new life or this new journey. A lot of things will change. But that's okay. Things need to change, and we know that in some way, or they wouldn't be changing, right? The challenge of natural chaos is that everything is in a state of change, constantly and consistently across the board, throughout time and throughout space. Everything is always changing, from atoms to matter to feelings to situations to the clock. Everything is in a constant state of change. So we have to accept the challenge of change to come along and help us stick to what we know and what we're doing, if it's right for us, or embrace that the change is meant to break things up for the best that is yet to come. You must accept the change that is in order to welcome the life that wants to be. Okay? We have 3 more cards face down and then a face up pile. So we have this situation over here for us. That's cool. On this end, okay, so we did have the Knight of Swords, Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck, so we were kind of talking about that. What's in the way, just accepting that you've already won, blah, blah, blah. Here we have Princess of Swords. So maybe this is a little interruption. Maybe this is some last minute questioning, pettiness, whatever. She's kind of coming in a little ruthless, but at least she's coming through. So this is like a pulled back version of the feminine energy. It is a little bit immature, but not quite Prince of Swords immaturity. And also could just represent some kind of disruption or maybe an unexpected action, some kind of like incoming whatever. And it's funny because, once again, it's not mirroring anymore. It was mirroring for the past few months, where this and that and they flip-flop between these two connections. But now it's matching the Knight of Swords energy. All the femme has to do is make one little tink and boom, 9 of Cups, happiness. Happiness. If this Knight has the courage to make these very simple, very easy, brief moves towards the feminine, it will take little to no effort for things to become what they need to be. We have the 9 of Cups, we have which is happiness, and we have the 2 of Cups, which is love, and that's how all of this started. The card that fell out of the pink deck was the 2 of Cups. And the 9 of Wands, strength. Yes, that does mean there will be some resilience. That does mean there will be some pushback. That does mean there will continue to be challenges. But you have to be strong and you have to be emotionally capable of dealing with that stuff as it arises, so that you can reap the rewards. Look, this union is blessed. It's 9 and 9. Regardless, strength and happiness. Yes, all relationships require some maintenance and work. Anybody who says they don't, probably getting cheated on, quite frankly. I mean, yeah, love should be easy to an extent, but if you are not seeing any kind of challenges, if it seems too good to be true and it's everything you've ever wanted, and it's just probably a little fishy. So sure, it might take some strength. There might be some kind of resistance. there might be something, a catch, if you will. But a catch is not necessarily a deal breaker, and baggage isn't necessarily ever going to be not an option. Everybody's got baggage. Like, if you want to catch the flight, you're going to have to bring a bag. Where are we going? Yeah, I got a bag. Who doesn't bring a bag? Like, what the fuck? What do you mean you have no baggage? It's fucking weird as shit. That means you just detach yourself from everything and move on quietly without bringing a remaining piece of your existence with you. Red flag. Don't act like you ain't got a bag, because if you don't have baggage, it just means you've got a closet full of skeletons somewhere in your past, right? Imagine that. So cool. This has been really informative and fun. It's gotten pretty quiet in here. It's been a quiet little night. That's fine. I might just go. It's been like 2 straight hours of me just non-stop tarot. I might come back later. I feel like the people who watch these readings are usually late night people, but I also find that the weekends are not a great time for me to stream always. It seems like random weeknights is where it's at for me. The middle of the midnight morning on like a Wednesday is like peak time for me. So I'm probably going to call it quits. It was a good run. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Very cool stuff. I hope that you find your message. If you tuned in late, start over. If you're watching the replay, thanks so much. I might actually stream later. I might just be back in a little bit. Because like I said, it's kind of like, after dark stuff. Anyways, I will keep going, but it just seems like 2 hours is fine. Not much left to say. We got everything out on the table, all right? 5 of Wands and the Sun. The Sun, of course, is Leo's ruling planet. Yeah, I think that's good. We hit the 2-hour mark, and it's fucking quiet as hell in here. Let's go get someone else's perspective, all right? Okay. Yeah. Me time. Hierophant. Good night, and good luck. Thank you for being here. So much love, because without it, I would probably just crumble. Love is easily hands down the most important feeling in the world. And who can't deal with a little heartbreak to experience just even a brief moment or taste of the most fluid and insane, beautiful feeling that man has ever had or experienced. I love you. The end.